Good evening. This is Susan of the North with the rune or runes of the day. The first one I drew was PERTHRO, the mystery. And I often have to interpret the runes in light of, unless I'm doing a reading for someone else, which this one is shared. But I often have to interpret the runes in light of my own experience of the day because my emotions are those things which inform me about the energies going on within my life and in my environment. The first one I drew is the rune PERTHRO. PERTHRO is the rune of games of chance, lot box lottery, but the mystery behind it is the unknown. And I could go in a couple of directions with this, but the unknown often means uncertainty. And the times that are around us, it bespeaks wisdom to make friends with uncertainty. The other aspect of PERTHRO is that it is the rune of the Norns. The Norns, Urder Verdandi and Skuld, weave the past, the present, and the future. And it's not always as clear cut and dried as it seems on the surface. The actions of the past predetermine the present. I don't like the term predetermine or predestination because it speaks into that old Christian theory that God determines everything, and that allows us no free will, but we have free will, human beings. The Norns weave, they guide our choices if we're listening. When the Norns first came to me back in January of 2013, I was sitting at my mesa and I was preoccupied with the matter of my ex-husband who was taking me to court to challenge me for child support and full custody. And it was nothing more than his imagination that I didn't want my son. I wanted my son very much, but my son loved being on the farm with his father. And so I made the choices that he would have that opportunity. So I was sitting there and the Norns came in and they sat across from me and to either side of me, and they began passing me the shuttle, and we were weaving. It was, of course, it was an energy shuttle, but we were weaving, and they asked me what my truest question was. And my truest question was how to achieve the outcome so that I would have my best relationship with my son. I was less concerned about the mischief his father was pulling because his father's always done stuff like that. And I just, at some point, let go of the anger and the resentment because that was who this man is. And the Norns guided me. I wrote down what they told me and I acted on it. And the court case came out very favorably for all concerned, except maybe Byron's dad, because him being who he was, his belief was sort of overturned. But the point I'm making is that the deepest feelings that we have, the deepest purpose that we hold, it's not our mind telling us that we want CEO job or best paycheck. I mean, all of that's necessary to life, but not all of us can be at the top and not all of us are going to be on the bottom. And I find for myself that the most contented life I have is one in which my needs are met and I live relatively simply. Sometimes fate intervenes and that doesn't always happen for us. And that's why it's good to make friends with uncertainty. Now that I've gone off on that long story, I drew a second rune for us. And this is GEBO. This is the gift. I drew this recently, I believe as recently as yesterday, I believe. But it's about giving and receiving. And in my relationships with the Norse gods, particularly the Norns and Hella and Frau Hulda. There is a mutual exchange of knowledge if I am open and accepting to receiving it. And that at its highest level is also our intuition. But I find that I'm going to introduce another concept here, and this I have from the Peruvian Pachacuti Mesa teachings of Anye. It's the giving and receiving, that everyone will have enough. I have enough for my needs today, and maybe you will have enough for your needs tomorrow. And the point is that not that we need a lot of material wealth, but the real wealth is the heart, an open heart, because the open heart is what connects us to our spirituality and also to our time in life, in the body. When the three creator gods of the Norse mythology, Odin, Vili, and Ve, made humans out of trees, they gave us threefold gift. They gave us will, they gave us the breath of life, and they gave us our sensorium. We have the capacity to perceive, see, hear, taste, touch, smell. And it's that translates into our mind through our experience as to what becomes our wisdom. So it's not all about asking the gods for help during the difficult times, but it's about asking that I have enough today. And even beyond that, what can I do for you today? What can I do for you today? I think so many times I'm so caught up in just the problems of living that I don't always think to ask the divine, what can I do for you today? How can I reciprocate? So I want to leave you with those thoughts. I've said a lot tonight, but I think these are such basic and powerful thoughts for our time, in which the negative seems more abundant than the positive. People seem to be at war with each other, even just arguing, holding to beliefs, whether they're right or wrong, as if that was the only universal truth. So, giving, receiving, being in touch with the mystery. And I wish you all a good night.